be alive.
Yes, you were born. Born. Born.
Uh, I could tell you were all just here for the starting soon screen. You were all just here for the starting soon screen. And as soon as I show up, you're like, all right, let's get out of here. I get it. You guys are just here for Patrick Hernandez, Born to Be Alive extended version. That's right. I play the extended version because it makes my intro a little bit longer. Maddie Bear. Should I be pronouncing the O? Should I be pronouncing it Maddie Barrow? I've been saying it wrong this whole time. It only dawned on me the other day when Casey was... Yeah, because we talk about you. We talk about you. Casey mentioned Maddie Barrow, and I was like, oh. I've always just been saying Maddie Bear. So, I don't know. I don't know how it's supposed to be. I'm gonna try a different tone today. This one's kind of cool. We do talk about you, but we only have nice things to say. I'm gonna try on a new tone today. This one's kind of nice. Let's try this one. I like to turn the tone down to where you can just notice it in the background. Alright, time to see if my green screen is in line or if I need to adjust it. Oh, my green screen's good. Okay, perfect. I was worried I was gonna have to readjust it. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Rain Domain. Welcome back, everybody. Hope you had a great weekend. Maddie Bear, thank you for subscribing. Vinderchump, thank you for subscribing. And Jemaru, thank you for subscribing too. Imagine being born to be alive and not born to serve the capitalist agenda. You know? That's why we're trying to be part of the change. Back, everybody. Welcome back. I'm gonna need this dog out of here. She's trying to get my food and she's making weird honking noises. She's a honker. do you feel about these? How do you feel about these? Wait, watch this. How do you feel about these? Are these cool? Capitalism makes me really sad. That's the point. It's supposed to make you depressed because when you're depressed, you don't feel like fighting back. It's part of the it's baked in. It's part of the recipe. It's what they want. They want you sad, they want you isolated, they want you miserable because that means that they can control you better. They put you in a position of desperation. But you already know all this. I'm just reminding you of that which you already know. Me calling in today so I can watch Brain Domain and free my mind. Just get your boss addicted to my broadcast and then you can watch it together at work instead of working. That's how we take the system down from the inside. My strategy for breaking capitalism is to get so many people watching me at work that capitalism just ceases to function. It's like, sorry, we can't. Gotta watch Brain Domain. Okay, so you know the drill. You know the drill. Today, we'll do some questions. We got the question box open. We got the question box ready for you. Before we get into it, I think I might want to go through some of the old pictures of the farm. You guys want to see some farm pictures? You guys want to take a trip down to the farm? I can show you where I went camping. I need to close those NSFW windows. If you look, you can see I have my Twitch dashboard there. I have my OBS. And then over here, I have the question box. The question box that's on its own monitor. And I feel like I could probably make better use of that screen real estate, but, you know, I like I said, I like to give the attentions my full focus, so I give them an entire monitor to themselves. Anyway, how are we feeling today? I wanna get a feel for our mood today. While I finish scarfing down my lunch. My jalapeno cheddar chicken with cauliflower rice. Just made. You have a headache today, so you're in pain. What part of your head? I'm a headache expert. What part of your head? Pinpoint it. Forehead and neck. Have you been leaning over while also intently focusing on something? Have you been leaning over and scowling at some papers or something? Feeling triumphant in your work? That's a good one. Determined, a little scared. You know, being scared isn't always a bad thing. Sometimes even good changes and good happenings can feel scary when they're unfamiliar. Alright, I got my food out of the way. Got my food out of the way, so now you have my undivided attention. Feeling nervous, attracted, frustrated. Going away for a funeral. A bit sad, but you guess it was time. Yeah. That's kind of what I've noticed in myself. When I go to a funeral, and it's like, this person was in their 90s or something. It's like, alright. It's like, alright. They were probably just waiting for it. You know what I mean? It's a different vibe, though, when, it wasn't as expected, or it wasn't really their time. Feeling uncertain. I'm going to my advisement meeting after my last class today so I can register for my final semester of college. I'm pretty nervous because I've done terribly this semester and I think I'll only do worse next semester, but I can't be self-defeating. Oh no, you could actually do even better next semester. You know, and I can't apply this to every major in school, every field of study. Sometimes the challenge in a particular field of study isn't a linear progression. Sometimes you get to the end of your studying career, you know, you get into that final semester of school, and it's a breeze because they didn't save the hardest stuff for last. A lot of times they give you some of the harder stuff earlier on just to try to weed out the people who aren't gonna make it the whole way. So it's entirely possible that you've already made it over the hump. Happy but a bit anxious because you have a lot of work to do. I believe in you. You're gonna do great. You're gonna do great. You're feeling stressed. Programming makes me want to pull my hair out. I could imagine. I've never programmed before, but there's a reason why I've never programmed before. You got your taxes done yesterday? Hey, hey, hell yeah. Let me make a poll for you real quick, because guess what? Guess what? We have to choose between a presentation. We have to choose which presentation we want to do today. I still have one from last week, but then I wrote 2 new ones. So we've got 3 to choose from. Let me arrange this so that it looks cool. Alright. I'm going to start the poll. I'm going to start the poll right now. Because we've got 3. We've got 3. We're done with the wheel. Goodbye. We've got 3 to choose from. Everybody wants to do Mysteries of the Mind. I knew that everyone is going to want to do with Mysteries of the Mind because that one is pretty fun. It's the fun one. Oh, you don't want to do the presentation on trauma? I can understand that. It's an important one to do. I kept it short because I didn't want it to be 3 hours long. That one is important. But you know which one is also important is the happiness presentation. You've been through enough trauma so that you're an expert. I'm just offsetting the vote to be silly. Oh, you. Is happiness real, to be honest? Yeah, it has its own section on the wheel. It's got all of these other sort of underlying emotions that connect to it. Is happiness real, be honest? Of course it is. It's how you felt before you were depressed, you remember? You might not remember. Depression has a way of making you forget. I'm speaking from experience, I'm not trying to come after anybody. I'm speaking from my own experience. If you're like me and you've been traumatized since early childhood, you might need to learn how to be happy. That's the cool thing about the brain. It can learn how to be happy. It doesn't have to experience happiness historically. It doesn't have to have something to reference or go back to. It can feel that way by learning how to feel that way. What you might notice, though, is that in practicing happiness, it requires a certain level of vulnerability. Because the thing about emotions is when you want to feel them on a deeper level, if you're used to restricting your emotions, maybe you're used to restricting your anger or restricting your sadness. When you're practiced in restricting your emotions, you restrict all of your emotions. You don't just get to pick and choose. So if you want to know happiness on a deeper level, you have to allow it to overwhelm you. You have to let your walls down and let it in, which can be intimidating, which can be scary because things that are unfamiliar are often intimidating and scary. Right, so far Mysteries of the Mind is in the lead. That's probably going to be the one we're going to do today. We'll save the other two for this week, though. We'll get through all these this week. We didn't get through the trauma one last week, but maybe we'll do that one tomorrow. You got your nails done black, you kind of regret it because it's spring now. What other colors are there to paint a nail? It's the best color. You recently learned about a triangle diagram about a victim, a rescuer, and a perpetrator. Let's look it up. I'm interested. You've piqued my interest. The Karpman drama triangle. Interesting. Let's take a look at this real quick. The triangle of victim, rescuing, and persecutor. Stephen Karpman, MD, developed his drama triangle almost 40 years ago. This is one that I haven't really heard of yet. I think I might have heard of it at some point, but the thing about psychology is that anybody can come up with a shape. Anybody can be like, I could be like, this is the Bragan Square. And if you look, there's 4 corners here, and these are the 4 keystones of emotional wellness or something like that. Anybody can come up with a shape. Well, let's learn about this shape. This one is a triangle. The drama triangle. It's a dynamic model of social interaction and conflict. So the victims in this situation, they, identify as the victims. They are oppressed, they're powerless, helpless, hopeless, and dejected. The rescuer stands in the position of, let me help you. Rescuers are classically codependent and enablers. Uh-oh. The persecutors, they stand in the belief it's all your fault. They aren't flexible. They aren't willing to be vulnerable. This makes sense. You see this a lot in drama going on today. You can see this a lot today. There are people who play all of these roles It feels to me though that it's not a very like static process. It's like it depending on I feel like people cycle between being these different things. I thought triangles had to point up. No. This is interesting, though. It explains some things for the behaviors that people engage in. Just take a look in